welcome to the Libra Full Moon Manifestation Harvest Ceremony. I know that is a big mouthful, but it's the best way to describe what it is that we're actually doing during these monthly full moon ceremonies. So this is the time in the lunar cycle where we pause to give thanks for all the things that have manifested into our life in the last 6 months or 2 weeks since we planted them at the Libra new moon, which was 6 months ago, or at the last new moon, which would have been 2 weeks ago. So hopefully by now you're familiar with how this whole lunar cycle thing works. If not, make sure you go and check an intro video that we have available in the resource section of wherever you're seeing this, or send me a message, send me a question, and I will get you all sorted out. Also, please remember that you have a session with me, a one-on-one. If you haven't already scheduled that, or already had your session, as part of joining this space, you get a one-on-one session with me where we go through and we actually do an intention planting ceremony together, just the two of us. Well, it's yours, and I'm just there to help you facilitate it. So please make sure you take advantage of that if you have not done so already. And apologies if my schedule's a little bit full. I promise I will get to everybody. Okay, so with that, quick reminder, on your blank sheet of paper or on the PDF download that comes, again, wherever you're seeing this video, you should have your Foursquare, which is where we keep track of our manifestations. So you'll have health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. Or if the terms, if those terms aren't resonating, you can use terms like ease, flow, connection, and expansion. Those are terms that I've been playing with in later years of doing this because I've been doing this practice for several years. And I'm sure, like you, your growth and your spiritual understanding will change and deepen over time, and you will maybe feel called to use different terms. Also, feel free to use any 4 terms that you'd like in that space. It's just an invitation and just a suggestion. So, with that, this is a great time to flip it over. Hopefully you have your new moon intentions planted from the Libra new moon. If you don't, what I always suggest that you do right now in this lunar phase is to go through old text messages, emails, mail on your desk. Where else do we get information? Voicemails are really good. Or go back and check your calendar for any things that you kind of like were doing within the Libra new moon, because that's, our calendar is like our goal keeper. It might seem like a task keeper, but it also keeps our goals. Like if we have projects that we were trying to do or things that we were trying to make happen, that's a great place to go and check. And something I have not really talked about a lot in these manifestation harvest ceremonies, which I feel like I need to pause and do, is that the full moon is a great time. Pause, like you guys know, I get like super synced up pretty much anytime I talk about the moon or mediumship or manifesting or metaphysics. But the full moon is a really great time to actually slow down and take an inventory of your life. And that's why it's always so great if we have our intentions planted, because it gives us the chance to actually sit and look back and say, what did I want for my life 6 months ago or even 2 weeks ago? And you kind of look at like, okay, those are my micro intentions. My macro intentions, micro being small things like something that you would hope could come to fruition or come into your reality in a 2-week time span, or macro being kind of like bigger life changes. Like maybe you want to like start going to the gym a little bit more. That'd be a micro. Maybe you want to like lose all your baby weight. That'd be macro. Hand raised. And so the reason why it's so important at the full moon to actually like pause and go back and look at what you planted is because it's a great opportunity for refinement and a great opportunity for Thanksgiving. So you can actually pause and look back and say, I don't know, like, I wonder if I should read one of mine. I never really do this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to read my ease one because this is a great time in my cycle to do this. So one of my micro intentions was to release the belief that I have to do everything alone and start asking for more help and allowing people to support me. Start outsourcing, delegating, and asking for help for anything and everything I can. So as a former teacher and a mother and a wife, I'm used to just like doing it all. It's like if something needs done, I just get it done. And sometimes I like kind of can spin out with that because it's a lot of energy to move for my clients, for my students, for my children, for my spouse, for anybody who needs anything. But since living abroad, I'm in a space now where I can actually start asking for help in my business, in my household, everywhere. And in doing so, those were like little micro intentions, which it's kind of hard to ask for help when you're used to doing everything yourself, and especially when you're maybe a bit of a perfectionist and aren't quite sure if people will be able to do it the way that you do it, but you know you would like the help, so you're willing to offer them the opportunity to prove you wrong, that maybe they'll do it better. It can be challenging to kind of like release that, but in doing so, all of the benefits that come from it are you're creating employment for other people. You're giving other people the opportunity to be of service to you like you are of service to other people in your life. And it keeps the cycle of abundance flowing. It keeps the cycle of energy flowing, because when we hoard our energy or we hoard tasks or we hoard things, it stagnates us. So like we can't grow past what it is that we're willing to take on. So that was like a micro intention of mine that is like, so like I'm so far past that tiny micro. I've got a cook, I've got a gardener, I've got a housekeeper, I've got a dog sitter, like I've got a VA, I've got it all. Like I am now fully stocked up. But that allows me to show up and be of service in other avenues of my life and for you guys that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And then the macro, like the bigger thing. So like the micro would have been like, okay, like interviewing a cook and like interviewing a housekeeper and like writing up the contracts or like posting jobs for VAs. Like those little things would be like micro things so that they happen in a perfect manner. And like shout out to my VA who happens to be a fellow Alaskan living in Africa. Like what? Where they like, it's just one of those weird things where you plant an intention and you never know how it's going to come into form. And this is one of those crazy serendipitous ways that I could have only set the intention for the universe and hope that it was fulfilled in a really cool way. And then like for it to be the only other Alaskan in the country that I currently live in Africa is like, okay, I know this was like heaven sent, lunar sent, like it's a true manifestation because it kind of like, it fulfills all my wishes in a way that I could not have nitpicked and planned. And then like an example of a macro intention would have been for ease. And again, this is like the bigger picture. Attract the perfect team in both the physical and non-physical to support me in my desires and endeavors with all things golden art or divination. And in my career so that being a wife and mother can remain my top priorities. And that's so true. By planting that little micro intention that led me to take concrete steps towards getting help in different areas of my life, I've, in a macro sense, created this life where I have a lot of help and support so that I can, like I spent my whole day with my spouse and children, and now I'm doing this. So they're kind of like little things and big things. So the other thing, again, that I'm gonna have to go back because I didn't get to this, that is really important to do at the full moon is to look back at your intentions or look back at anything. If you didn't plant the intentions and you don't have like a reference sheet, look back at your calendar, your text messages, conversations with friends, anything that can like kind of give you a time anchor to 6 months ago. And you just look it up. Just within this resource, there's a link to where you can find what day the Libra new moon was. It's going to be in the almanac section, in the members area, in the like resources section. So you can actually go and check the date, or you just Google it, like Libra new moon, whatever year this is, and find out what date it was. And reflect on what you were trying, like what were you putting your energy toward? Because during the full moon, you're gonna do one of two things. You're going to give thanks for what has manifested. So like there's two things right in one of my quadrants that both, when I turn this over and I write my reflections for what I've been going through, it's like, yes, all of those things I planted in that quadrant, all those intentions I planted came true, and I am so thankful. And then you use that gratitude in service of others, and you see how you can spread whatever abundance you've cultivated in like maybe that quadrant specifically, or like with that intention, how you can then give that as a gift to somebody else, even if it's at like a micro level, like a small level. And then the second thing that you would do at a full moon is maybe if you find something, and I'm kind of wondering if I should like look and share. Yeah, like if you find an intention, like especially a macro intention that hasn't quite come true, and sometimes our intentions can be like kind of flowery, like I want to have more ease in my day and I want to be calmer, and sometimes they can be like I want to expand my business by 1,000% in this quarter. I want to sell this many of this. I want to teach this much of this. I want to get a promotion, whatever. It can be a very concrete thing and not so much like ethereal, metaphysical, or designed for spiritual growth. Or it could be something that could take a lot longer. Like I've had things on here with my mediumship. Like I want to refine my ability to connect with a certain type of spirit in a certain type of way to get a certain type of message so that I can be of the most service. And like those kind of things like might not always take shape in 6 months in the way that you had thought that they would. But at the full moon, it's a good time to actually look and see like, is this happening the way that I thought it would? Yes or no? If yes, awesome. If no, is something else showing up? Is something even better than I could have imagined showing up? If so, cool, go back to gratitude. And if not, it's time to actually check in with that desire and see like, is it still calling for you? Is it still something that's like up in your energy? Is it still something that you want to happen in your life? Or is something you're like, you know what? Never mind. Like I'm not really in alignment with this anymore. Like something like maybe having a child, like check in with that if that's like a desire or something that you could concretely see the results of that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on this because we need to get to the ritual. It's a 3-parter and I'm super excited about this one. So here we go. Oh, I love this one. Okay, I know like I love them all, but I really do love this one. Okay, Libra Full Moon, calling in a favor. I get by with a little help from my friends. Have you ever needed to call in a favor? Well, I personally don't make it a habit of calling in metaphysical favors from my mediumistic and psychically inclined friends without sending back an energetic equivalent of their assistance in the form of a big thank you or monetary payment. It sure helps being surrounded by a cadre of incredible souls on this earth plane who just so happen to have some extra special gifts and talents. I have friends who do soul background checks for me, true story, and friends who help me find missing items with the aid of remote viewing or dowsing rods. And I have friends who send me guiding angels to show me my metaphysical blind spots when my rose-colored glasses inadvertently block my view. While life can knock us off course or out of alignment with our higher selves from time to time, choosing to predominantly reside in a state of gratitude for all those on your path and in your world will take you farther than grit and good manners alone. Getting to call energy healers, light workers, light warriors, crystal experts, Reiki masters, mediums, remote viewers, diviners, body workers, astrologists, numerologists, and enlightened educators, my near and dear, is a true privilege, but one that's available to anyone willing to open up their mind and heart to partners that fill us up, balance us out, and bring light into our lives. Libra loves when things come in pairs, so this moon's ritual will help us find our match, locate our missing items, call on our angels, or simply turn up our magnetic mojo to draw in that which we are seeking. With Love, Light, and a Tuning Fork, this month's ritual, like I said, is a 3-part. It has, I referenced 2 kind of archaic instruments. Well, actually, the tuning fork is not archaic. I'm sure you guys all know, but it's an older instrument, and a theremin, which like, make sure you go and check out this ritual and click through the videos to watch the music videos. I saw somebody using a theremin in a Borns music video, and I was like, is this a synthesizer? What is this? And then I actually looked it up, and it's an old school instrument where people actually touch it. They don't touch it, I'm sorry. It's a hands-off instrument that's controlled completely, like the pitch and the tenor. Well, if you're a musician, please forgive me. The tone and the way, like it's all based on where the player's hands are. So like the higher the hand goes or the farther away from the instrument it goes, the more, like the higher the pitch, and then like over here it like draws out the sound. So it literally looks like they're conducting music, and you can hear it's auditory, you can hear the, the output, their hands are moving. It's just really a cool instrument. It's an awesome representation of how like we can literally move energy and make things happen without touching a single thing, which I just love because it just reminds me of the energy of the universe and why I love this practice and why I hope you love it too. The other thing we are going to do, so like in the same vein as like moving energy and like actually seeing, like being able to like physically manipulate energy without actually touching it, we have a dowsing rods activity. So dowsing rods or divining rods are kind of an old school thing. They used to use them in like to find oil or to find water back in the day. And I've got a fun article about dowsing rods in America. And then what else? Oh, so they're used to help you find lost items. So you're probably not gonna like need to go find water or oil unless you do. I know a medium who actually made her fortune using divining rods in like the late 50s and 60s. With like oil folks would hire her and she'd come out and she'd be like, there's your oil, I'll take my commission later. And I'm like, wait, is this a real story? Real story. And what else did she do? Oh, she used to like send letters, like a kind of like marketing type stuff. But instead of cold calling people or cold sending emails, she would just like put her hands over the letters and be like, this one feels like they would want the deal. And so she'd call and be like, hi, just thought I'd offer you whatever. And then they would want it. And so she had this like insane commission rate because she only went off the like energy of the person's name or the energy of the land to find the oil. Okay, anyways, so if you want to do that, get some sales and leads using that technique, you sure can. Another thing that we have is remote viewing for lost items. So I have a pair of crystal earrings or diamond earrings that I lost. They got vacuumed up and literally about 12 hours, because like the next morning it would have gone out to the curb, like 12 hours before the earrings went out to the curb in the garbage can, I like called on a friend. His name is Brian Eklund. You'll see him click around. He's a fellow medium and clairvoyant. And actually I did an episode of Golden Otter Divinations with him if you want to check him out. And he actually found the earrings for me. He located them within like a 3-foot radius in my garage by a tennis racket. And I was like, what the heck? Why would they be in there? That doesn't make any sense. And literally like on the other side of the door was our dump, like our garbage. And I was like, well, that just doesn't make any sense. And then I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, now I remember vacuuming. They were like on a table and I remember vacuuming and I remember kind of hearing something, but it didn't click that it was my like earrings clipped together. Found them. I took a picture of it. I think it's even on his website. So there's an exercise in remote viewing if you've lost something, and maybe you could get a friend to help you because it's usually easier if you have somebody else help you. And then actually, funny story, I just lost my intention thing because sometimes our guides or angels will like move stuff on us. And if you're ever missing anything, this is called an apport. It's like where they just like take something and it kind of disappears. And you're like, gosh, where is that? Where is that? And it's usually meant to like get you to find something else while you're searching for the thing that you feel like you've lost. It's like when you're running around the house with like a shoe in your hand, you're like, where's my shoe? Oh, where's my shoe? And you've got one on, and then you're like, oh, it's right here. I had it in my hand. It's to help you see something else. And then sometimes it's just to like play tricks on you. But if you're really like tuned in and you've lost something and you're just like, you know what, I need to find this. This isn't funny. Like I've got a thing to do. Find my intentions, please. It'll pop and you'll get it. It'll reappear. Last thing, speaking of like our guides that like to play jokes on us, our joy guides. We have an activity to find our joy guides, which is really exciting because joy guides are simply the energies we draw to us that by virtue of sharing energetic space, increase our ability to feel, sense, see, and experience happiness into our lives while also strengthening our capacity to remain at a high level energetic vibration. I love working with my joy guides. Sometimes I forget she's there because I get so like entrenched in real life. And I'm like, whew, I need to just like have some fun for a minute. And I call her in. And like I said, check out that episode of Golden Otter Divinations with clairvoyant Brian Eklund, who uses remote viewing. And the commentary, he also offers, I believe, classes in the Virginia area. Watch a comedy series to lift your vibration at this time, and give yourself permission to do something just for fun. Oh, also cast a magnetic energetic net to bolster your partner and friendship sectors, pulling in those who resonate with your energy and make even deep conversations seem easy, breezy, and fun, because Libra loves when things come in pairs. And that's it, folks. Okay, this has been so fun co-creating with you in this space, and I will see you next time. With love and light, Autumn.